Lydia Walter. Why East Coast Bowhunting Podcast?
Because neither one of us wear pink camo.
East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Look, man, I'm from Wisconsin, and I listen to the East Coast Bowhunters because you don't get anything more real than these guys.
Because East Coast Bowhunting sets the standards for keeping its listeners informed on everything that matters in the hunting industry.
Nice having somebody, local and represent the East Coast boys.
The East Coast is going to saddle up.
Number one source for slaying whitetails on the East Coast.
Well, you might see Jesus if you actually shoot something, it'll get you into heaven.
Why East Coast? Why not? I'm East Coast, baby. That's how we roll. Chew on that.
Come on the show, a stranger, and you feel like one of the boys when you leave.
Because I get my hunting camp anytime I want.
There's some absolute monsters roaming the East Coast, and I think it needs a little attention, so why not bring it to the East Coast Bowhunters Podcast?
Man, because East Coast is a tight-knit crew, and y'all like me. Raw, real, no bullshit.
Because you guys are hometown boys. I love you guys.
This is Kurt Geyer with Working Class Bowhunter, and East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is the only hunting podcast I'll tune into.
Welcome to the East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. I'm your boy D-Rock here with
Trev, Ryan, Modern Assassin.
And we are here in Des Moines at the Iowa Deer Classic. And geez Louise, it's still popping. This episode is brought to you by Shabeen Brewing, the Hunter's Beer, 100 Demons, East Coast Hardcore Music, Trev's Euros for all your Euromount needs, Outright Hunting, the last bow hunter you'll ever buy, Death Wish Coffee, fueled by death, Ethics Archery, it's like steroids for your arrows, Nor'easter Game Calls, get them in close, Wild Edge Inc., the leader in mobile hunting, powered by Scranton Motors and Power Motorsports. And this show is presented by Working Class Bowhunter. Not just a podcast, but the brand in the hunting industry. East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is here as always for new and old hunters by sharing our experiences in the woods through playing and slaying. What's up?
What's up, D-Rock?
D-Rock, what up? What's happening, fellas?
What's going on? So today is actually a really cool episode. We're joined by Sam Miller from SEVR Broadheads. What's going on, Sam?
Doing good. Having a fun show.
Heck yeah. Make love to that mic, man. Two finger rule. Two finger rule. Yeah, there we go. So let's kick right into it, man. Sam, tell us who you are, where you're from, and where we can find you.
Okay, my name is Sam Miller. I work for SEVR Broadheads and Delta McKenzie Targets. I'm based out of Dike, Iowa, and we're here talking about the new SEVR Broadhead.
Awesome. Where can we find the SEVR Broadhead?
You can find it online and at shows like the Iowa Deer Classic at consumer shows.
Nice. Any social media platforms at all yet?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. That's really cool. So let's cut right into it, man. Let's start from the beginning. What drew the persistence to make a new broadhead?
Just to have something new and different out there, something different than what you see all around. So it drove us to look at a lock opening broadhead. So as the broadhead deploys, the blades pass each other and actually lock in the open position, and then they pivot. So as it were to encounter, say, a bone or something solid in the animal, the blades pivot around that instead of bouncing into it, breaking it, losing all that energy or deflecting off of it.
So in essence, it prevents deflection.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yep. So you watch our videos. We got great videos online of how it's different between a fixed blade and ours.
And this is also, it's deploying on entry, so you have that cut on your entrance and your exit.
Correct.
You look at SWAC or something like that, they or a rear deploy. They're opening a little different, so you're cutting through the body cavity. You're not getting a giant entrance and exit. So, what's the cutting diameter on this?
The cutting diameter is 2.1.
So you're getting over a 2-inch cut entrance and exit.
And actually, when you start measuring them, they're measuring over 2 1/4, 2 3/8.
Gotcha, with the muscle tension and everything
all that
like
stuff,
that.
That stretch, they call it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one in my hand, and I'm I'm very much an engineer in mind. I think that's kind of why D-Rock pulled me in here, because I like to pick things apart, and I just look at everything behind it. One of the first things I notice is you have your pin in top for your pivot point of the blades here, and there's another threaded hole right below that for a threaded set screw.
Correct.
Explain why that is.
Okay, so if you think of some of the other broadheads, you got to practice with them, right?
Of course.
And so some of the mechanicals, you actually have a different broadhead you practice with. So that's one of the things we did is you put that set screw in there, locks the blades closed, and then you can practice with the same exact broadhead you're going to hunt with. So
your blades are protected the entire time that set screws in. So you're not dulling this in any way, even though you're using the exact broadhead for practice.
Correct.
That's a genius design.
Yep. So
I mean, you can take an arrow out of your quiver, take a test shot, make sure it's good, take that set screw out, and now you're ready to hunt.
Yep.
So what I noticed too that you do have an O-ring in it. It locks once it's deployed, correct? After it deploys, the blades lock together, and that's what gives it that swivel back and forth. But they don't lock close. You got a rubber O-ring here, and I've noticed that the blades actually have a slight divot to keep that O-ring in place to make sure it's not rolling up and down. It's in a collar.
Yep.
So
it actually
are these
will cut
blades
the O-ring.
sharpened? Okay, that was my question. So even where this indentation is, it's sharpened. So you're not just waiting for that O-ring to fall, roll down, or break. You're cutting through it.
You're cutting through it. Yep.
Beautiful. Gotcha.
Yep. So talk about having a little snap to it.
Yeah.
What material is this broadhead made out of?
All titanium.
100% titanium.
100% titanium, except for the set screw.
So the ferrule, the blades, the tip,
titanium.
And this is a 100 grain?
Correct, 100 grain.
Are you guys thinking about going into a 125 or something just to hit that consumer market as well?
Yep, we're definitely taking some feedback and looking at the next direction with this.
Excellent.
Yep. Awesome.
Yep.
So, Sam, let's get back to it on the technology of it. You mentioned the set screw, so let's get down to the nitty gritty, and so this way you could paint the good picture for the listeners out there. It looks 100% serviceable, which is huge in the industry, and it looks like you could actually take it apart and sharpen the blades if need be. So, well away with it, man. Paint the picture.
So we sell replacement blades, and we do suggest that if you do deploy it in an animal or in a target, you deploy the blades that you do replace the blades.
You always want something sharp for your next animal, of course.
Yep, yeah. It's not worth it on a monster buck to not have sharp blades, and
it's just ethical. You know, you want the quickest, cleanest severing cut to kill.
Yep.
Boom. Shameless plug. So the ferrule itself, there's a lot of discrepancies with ferrules because they are essentially hollowed out in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you bring titanium to the game, who made that decision initially?
The developer Clint had a lot of the design and input on it. So it's a strength, the strength of it. And how we're selling it, we can do all titanium based on how we're selling it online and at these shows.
And that's the first question I asked. I'm like, wow, these things got to be very expensive, being titanium. And you're like, no, actually, what is the price point on these?
$15 a piece. We sell them individually. They're not packaged in groups of 3. So another little point there is you can buy what you need. So if you want 4 in your quiver, buy 4. You don't have to buy 6 and put 2 in a drawer. If you lose one, you can buy one for $15. You don't have to buy 3 at $45.
And that $15, is that just a show special here, or is that what's available online?
That's what's online.
So that's what people can expect to pay no matter where they're paying.
Yep, they're listed online at $13.99 with tax, or $15. So
nice, that's sweet. And I also noticed you sell separate serviceable packaging too, with extra blades and O-rings and set screws.
Yep.
Can you dip into that?
Yeah, so we do a 12-pack of O-rings for $5. That's how we sell those. And then we do 3 sets of replacement blades, so 3 broadheads blades for $18. So it's about $6 a set per broadhead for replacements.
Nice. So with that being said, do you ever sell just ferrules?
No.
How often do they get damaged? Actually, let me retract that last question. You've only been out for how long now?
About a year.
So you guys are still babies, so to speak.
So to speak, yep.
That's really cool. So in that 1 year's time, have you had any trouble with the ferrules at all whatsoever?
No, and so I do a lot of testing on the targets, and so I've had the same 2 in my range that I've tested. I probably put 100 shots on each one into targets in practice mode, and I actually put one in the wall the other day in the range. Imagine that, Don't like to say that out loud, but yeah. And when I pulled it out, obviously the chisel tip and stuff is dulled out over the use, but there was no major gouges. It wasn't bent, nothing like that. So they're stout broadheads. They're gonna hold up.
That was actually one of the next things I wanted to touch on. Is the leading edge of this. Your tip, it is part of the ferrule, and it's a 4-blade cut-on contact, kind of.
Yep.
It looks like it's a kind of a hybrid between a chisel and a cut-on contact. Is that correct?
That would be correct. Yep.
I'm just blown away because that's pretty dope. Because there's a lot of competition out there in the broadhead game, and there's so many out there that have really good technology. Like there's smart head technology, there's expandables, fixed, mechanicals, and it really teeter-totters on something that's very similar out there. But I'm just sold on the titanium. Titanium is crucial.
Well, titanium at that price point.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and that's what I was leading into is we had talked yesterday about, wow, this must be a very expensive broadhead. And what was your response to me, Sam?
Now you're going to pick my memory.
Well,
help me out.
You eliminated the middleman.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
So can you elaborate why you guys went to that measure?
Well, everything these days is online. We're going that way, and so to get that technology at that price, I mean, it just felt like the way to go. Everybody's focused online, and so we went that direction with it.
That's awesome, because that's a very easy way to make something very expensive with quality at an affordable price.
Correct.
So that's really, really smart marketing technique, actually. And it kind of, it's a catch-22 because all of us here, we're pro-local, and we want small businesses to succeed.
Right.
But then in the same aspect, you're a small business, so why should you have to jump hoops to sell your product? So
yep.
Yeah, that was definitely a good marketing technique for sure.
Cool. Now, you said you've been out about a year. Can you mention some of the people that shoot the SEVR? Because I know there's some big names and real killers out there that have bled out some animals with these things.
You're putting me on the spot. So,
well, I'm pretty sure Clint Casper. I'm pretty sure he's shot them with everybody listening to Working Class will know him.
Yep.
Who else but by people know?
Oh man, so I do the development and stuff. I haven't been deeply involved in the marketing.
Gotcha.
So I'm
basically, everybody can go check the Instagram and Facebook.
Instagram
but I know I didn't want to say the wrong names, but I know I've seen some real killers out there using them.
Our friend Mr. Polk, he's going to be running them this year also.
Gotcha.
So Severn, he's running Severn.
Yeah, he's been posting about it and talking about it. So
nice. I think we're going to have to get our hands on some of these after the episode to test them out. I mean, I'm always curious. I leave my options open all the time. I do show loyalty to the people that I'm affiliated with because for the natural reason that we become friends with them. But at the same time, keeping your options open, I mean, that's how you succeed more in the woods.
Yeah, you got to try new stuff.
Exactly. And especially new to the industry because everyone's got something new, it seems like, every year. And you really don't find out the truth of it unless you're using it.
Yep, you got to go try it.
Until you get here and put your hands on it. Because people can talk, people can speculate, but it's not till you got your hands on it and can really look at a product. Now, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to let me walk out here and shoot one of these Iowa whitetails, but, you can see the technology behind it. You can hold it. You can feel the titanium, the strength. And is that a single or a double bevel blade on these?
I think it's a double, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so it is a double bevel blade on each side.
Nice.
It's interesting being here and talking to all these folks at the show and explaining it, and they walk by and see it collapsed on the in hunt mode, and
it doesn't look like anything different from any other typical
they walk
mechanical.
by and you pick it up and you deploy it and start doing this. You can't see it on the. But start going like this, and they're like, man.
Yeah,
swinging it back and forth.
Yep, swinging it.
Right.
Almost looks like a metronome.
Yep, and then you start doing that, and their eyes just light up. I'm like, wow.
Now, for our listeners out there, he's rotating the actual blade in movement after in locked position after deployment. And to prevent deflection, it passes what may potentially be bone or what have you, and the blade just rotates with it. So in other words, it prevents deflection and continues deployment.
Yep.
For the people listening, it's like a rage on steroids is really what it's like. This is it's something else. It looks like a rage, but it's not a rage. I mean, that's the closest relevance to it. Is it definitely looks like a rage, but titanium, and it swings and it's locking. It's free.
It's fail proof.
And well, the way it's a rear, the way it deploys to where you have that cut on your entrance and your exit.
Right,
so you're bleeding that thing out.
And the looks of it is actually very similar look to like a Raptor trick. To explain it, when it's in closed mode.
It looks like it, but it's
its own beast.
It
without a doubt.
Rear deploys where
different.
the Raptor trick is it deploys after the first pass.
Right.
So then you have fresh blades cutting through the vitals.
Yep.
But then you have a small entrance.
Yep.
And the larger exit. This you're getting at least that 2.1 entrance and exit.
Yep. And then deployment. And then the cool part of it about it is, after deployment and after it locks, it comes with a little plastic tool.
Yep. So you slide it in there and twist it.
In the ferrule?
Nope, in the blades themselves. So there's two plates that slide past each other and spring in and kind of butt into each other. That's what keeps them open. So you just bend those back, and it'll close back up.
And for people that can't see us playing with this right now, you just closed it without a tool.
Correct.
Which you're not going to recommend people grab the blades to do this.
Absolutely
and that's
not.
But for the guys like me that just kind of do their own thing, whatever, you don't have to have a tool per se. But of course you recommend it because you're dealing with sharp blades.
Exactly.
And the one thing that I do like about that is the quartering away shot. So when it does go away quartering, it opens up one, locks it, and then when it goes through all the way, then it turns back into full. The 2.1 cutting diameter.
Yeah, you're not causing a deflection on entrance on a quarter-inch shot. Like
you can do quarter-inch, extreme quarter-inch.
Yep. With the other expandable blades out there, when you're quartering like that, it's only going to deploy one blade.
Exactly.
So
it
now
just pushes the one.
Right.
Yep.
So now it pushes one open, but they're locked. So then it swivels back as soon as it enters that animal.
Yep.
It's definitely impressive. It's an impressive head, that's for sure.
You don't need to have that energy to open two. You can just open one, and they're locked. Both deployed.
Very cool.
So let's talk deer a little bit, man. We've been talking shop this whole time. What got you into the woods when you were a lad?
My dad was a big-time shotgun hunter up in northeast Iowa, and I was always disappointed when he went out hunting. So at age 8, he buttoned me up, put me in some warm clothes, and hauled me out. I've been hooked ever since. So I shotgun hunted till I was 12, and then kind of on my own, I got into the bow hunting side of it and went out and bought a bow and been doing that ever since.
You know, that's a very common theme that I've kind of picked up talking to different guests is, I guess it's just the more old school, traditional shotgun hunting, and then you find a lot of guys in our generation that kind of take it to that next level of bow hunting and train themselves. You know, It's kind of the same thing that happened with me. D-Rock, it's people gravitate toward that next level of the whitetail hunting.
The challenge of it.
Absolutely.
You hunt 5-6 years with a shotgun, you kill a bunch of deer, and you kind of lose that challenge. And for me, that bow hunting was like the next step.
Oh, yeah.
Got to get them
being
closer.
20 yards from an animal versus 200 is a much more kind of intimate and relative experience. It gives you a lot more respect for that animal you're taking to.
Yep. And then about 5 years ago, I started elk hunting, and I go about every other year, and I do it all on my own. I don't do outfitters. I pick a spot in the map, take my own stuff, and go.
Nice. Where'd you go?
Colorado.
Colorado.
Yep, north central Colorado, and then I've done Idaho a couple times as well.
That's sweet. What kind of bow setup you got running?
I've got a Hoyt Defiant.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got set up for that.
Okay.
You got set up for that.
Yep. We're Team Elite here, so
Yeah.
But no, Hoyt is a really well respected brand. I mean, we're right across the booth from them. I mean, you can't buy a bad bow nowadays. So.
No, you really can't.
It's all preference.
Nice. Yeah, exactly. Yep. If it works for you, that's perfect for you.
Yep.
What kind of sight you running?
The IQ sight.
Oh, nice.
IQ sight and the drop away Hoyt rest.
Oh,
and,
that's sweet.
Yep.
That's actually nice rest.
Easton injection arrows.
Cool.
Yep.
How many grains you running to hunt elk?
100.
Huh?
100 grain
Oh,
broadhead.
okay.
Yep.
Broadhead? Yep.
Nice. Nice. So you're probably, and you're using the severed?
Correct.
Oh, snap.
Now, are you setting up a heavier arrow for your elk hunt, or are you using the same, what you're dialed in for whitetail?
Yep.
Okay,
Same
gotcha.
thing. I'm good out to 60 yards and confident. And
very cool.
That's something to be said, that it's the same setup for whitetail is used on elk with the severed broadhead. I mean, have you been successful the past 5 years?
I've been close to them.
Okay.
Again, so part of the thrill for me is the challenge of doing it myself.
Absolutely.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm self-taught. You know, I pick stuff out in a map and I go for it and see what's out there. And I've been close a couple times, but still learning the whole process.
No, we commend that. We encourage it. Anyone out there, new or old to the game, just getting back into it. That's you're challenging
the only
yourself.
way you learn.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
You're challenging yourself. So that's really, really cool. Are you using bugles or calling them in or just stalking? Spot and stock? That's cool.
Nice.
Dude, that's hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is hard to do.
So lots of miles. Normally do about 10, 12 miles a day walking. And
Wow, what kind of boots you wearing?
Huh?
I mean, 10, 12 miles.
Quite honestly, just Cabela's brand.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Now, are you doing like a pack hunt? Like, are you camping out there while you're doing these?
So I do a base camp.
Okay.
So I'll go to a trailhead, find a
Okay.
spot to camp, and then I will take an overnight pack with me. So if I
Very
get far
cool.
enough out or something, I can just crash.
Getting it about as hardcore as you can.
Trying,
I like it.
trying to.
it.
Like I said, it's the challenge of it, and I get more thrill out of just walking around out in the mountains.
And I know you said you don't use outfitters and all, but are you going with a buddy? Is this a solo trip?
Both ways. Both
Very
ways.
cool. As you can tell, we're all kind of interested in getting on our private land or our public land elk hunts and everything too. So, kind of picking your brain on these things a little bit.
My dad, grew up hunting with him, so he doesn't bow hunt. So he'll come out with me and stay at base camp. He might get a fishing license.
So he brings the longbow that makes a loud bang, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and he's my cook.
Nice.
So we'll go anywhere.
Every camp needs a cook,
Yep.
right, fellas?
Shout out to D-Rock on the cooking last night. Let me say that.
Yep. So yeah, it's been a great experience for me. And the last time I went, I did go solo. Went all by myself and had a great week. And
nice. So when you do actually succeed, it's going to mean the world to you.
Oh yeah,
that's going to be like the best trophy you ever took in your entire life because you put nothing but your blood, sweat, and tears literally into it.
And that's one thing that people that are new to hunting or me against hunting or even on the fence about it, they don't realize. How many elk hunts have you gone on?
About 6.
Okay,
6, 7.
and you're doing this for a couple days at a time, and you say you're walking how many miles a day? 10 to 12.
10 to 12.
So you've literally gone over 100 miles through the mountain without killing an animal.
And I'm still doing it.
It's not, exactly. And it's all part of the process, which a lot of people don't understand if they're not familiar with hunting. You just think, oh, well, you see them out there, you just go kill them. And no. This is where the respect for the animal and everything comes from, is everything it takes out of you and the dedication that it takes to make this happen. That's what makes an animal a trophy.
Yep.
Trophy has become a tainted word. What you're doing, no matter the size of what you take, it's going to be a trophy animal.
Exactly.
And you can't really dispute that.
Yep. Yep. Just for instance, I lose 10, 15 pounds in those 3-4 days of hunting.
Just water weight and calories burning.
Burning.
And then holiday season comes around after elk hunting, and then it's like, damn.
right back on.
Man, if you didn't like...
Well, you don't have to call it gaining weight now. You just call it pre-elk hunt preparation, you know?
Yep.
Man, I know you don't like being put on the spot, Sam, but... You made it to our first segment of the show is Ninja Tip of the Day. So what that is any good advice for the outdoorsman or anyone outdoors. What good advice do you have? Good ninja tip of the day.
Good ninja tip of the day. Don't give up. Keep pushing. Keep going. If you don't shoot one every year, keep going at it. Don't shoot one first time out. Keep going.
And that's what you just mentioned is a very physical as well as mental thing.
Yeah.
Stay positive, keep
Exactly.
going. You know, it's not about just putting the miles. A lot of that, especially out by yourself, that's a big mental game.
Yep.
It's easy to stay in your sleeping bag in the morning where it's warm, but if you want to get that bull, you got to get up and get it.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. You got dark 3-mile walk through the woods just to get anywhere near animals, and that is tough.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So, getting back to the Severed, now that we kind of loosened up a little more, and
okay,
and it's just really amazing, this technology. And out being in a year's time, how has production been going after a year?
Pretty good.
Yeah,
yeah, pretty good. I think there was early last fall they fell behind a little bit. They had some back orders, but they've been able to push through that. And
so there's a lot of interest in the Broadhead.
Yeah. It's done really well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't even need to do it. Go ahead. Keep going.
So you made it to our last segment of the show is what rattles your antlers, Sam? What in the hunting industry or the outdoors or anything in general in life rattles your antlers? What gets under your skin?
Under my skin?
Yeah. What bothers you the most?
There's so many positive people here. I'm gonna just pause you 1 second. There's so many positive people. Every time we've done rattle our antlers, it's a positive thing. Like what drives you? And our segment is what's negative. And you were about to go positive with it again. So it's so cool to see how many positive people are out there.
Probably. I don't know.
What's the first thing that comes to mind?
I don't know.
There's got to be
You're
something.
putting me on the spot.
Yeah.
I mean,
But,
and that's the idea too, probably. But
people picking apart the product that don't know about it, or
it could be anything.
Or you got, D-Rock joked about, if you're shooting a Hoyt, sorry about that. But we're joking about. There's some guys that are serious about that kind of shit.
Yeah. Man, I don't know.
There's that mental game all around positive.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
what comes?
I'm kind of a go with the flow guy. I mean,
Nothing bothered you here at the show. Anyone?
You know what? I got one.
Boom.
There we go. Boom.
About 5 hours from now, I'm going to go nuts trying to get out of here, packing up, all nervous about loading the trailer, trying to get home. That gets me going right there.
That rattles your antlers.
Yeah, that'll get me fired up.
That's legitimate, man. Because honestly, I'm not looking forward to helping out Wild Edge Inc. load up.
Well, the good thing about Wild Edge is he's about sold out everything, so it's going to make it a little bit easier to pack up.
What rattles my antlers is we're going to have to wait in line to load up afterwards. That's going to take the most time,
Yep.
But yeah, man.
Nothing you can do but wait. Hurry up and wait.
And be patient. I guess that's what the beer's for.
Well, like you were talking about, everybody, Trev just mentioned, everybody pretty positive here and all. Unloading, everybody's kind of helping everybody. And I'm sure when the loading is, and it's not just to get you out of my way so I can then get unloaded. It's just kind of, it's that community of the hunting industry and the fellowship that, and the positive, as Trevor mentioned, everybody's kind of collaborated together to help one another. It's not always a competition.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting here, coming in and out of these shows, if you don't have a cart, the guy next to you's got a cart.
Exactly.
Let you have a cart, or share chairs or all that
and
stuff.
It's kind of the same in the woods, too.
Yep.
If I see you've harvested an animal and we get back to the parking lot and I got a deer cart, I ain't going to leave you there. I'm going to give you a hand, you know what I mean? And that's kind of just a common theme between guys like us that share the same passion, that go through that same hustle, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's really cool, man. It's very positive to be here in Iowa Deer Classic with all these good people and staying positive. That being said, let's just go around the table and say something positive about the show. And, of course, as always, Trev, what you got?
Yeah, I guess so. I'll start it off. Positive is just the collaboration of all the positive things that have happened this weekend, and that it's the last day, and meeting everybody and seeing new products like the SEVR Broadhead and the technology behind it, and that it's just a direct consumer to warehouse system. It's just cool, and that it's a small business, and that they're putting an evolution on different kinds of broadheads.
That's a good one, man. I like that one,
very
actually.
Good, Trev.
What you got, Ryan?
Last day here, Iowa Deer Classic. I think I can speak for everyone in this room. It's been a life-changing event for all of us here. I'm very thankful for the friendships that we've made throughout this, the people that we've met, and the people that we're going to continue to meet after this and going forward. So I'm very thankful, and it's been a positive weekend.
Hell yeah. What you got, G?
Man, I'm kind of on board with both of what they just said. Yeah, we have met some awesome people. We have seen some great products. We have made some great relationships. And then you're seeing, guys, people have been killing animals with something sharp on the end of a stick for a very long time.
Since the beginning of time.
But you got new products. You got new materials. You got new innovations. We're always trying to make things a little bit better, a little bit more ethical, as quick as you can kill something and cleanly, the better. So, staying positive, just that. We've got a great show going on, and you get to see the industry constantly evolving.
Awesome. So, Sam Miller, Easton Tech Products, SEVR Broadheads. What do you got to bring to the table that's positive?
So, what I'm thankful for is the customers out there, having them at the show, coming out, being able to talk to them, like I said earlier, seeing their eyes light up when they see how this new broadhead works. It's great time. It's fun to be here, fun to have those conversations.
And that's, I guess, another reason you guys have gone direct to the consumer, so you got that relationship with your consumers.
That's really cool. What I bring positive to the table is just this right now. Discovering new products, putting it on the table, and making people aware. People making blended bloodies in the other room. And just really making people aware and educating them, so this way they have options, laying out all the options. And the Brotherhood. Damn, Absolutely. They're making those bloody blended Marys, or blended Bloody Marys. Jesus.
Batter babies in
tongue twister. All right, so on that note, stay stepping.
And stay slaying.
Podcast go straight to hell. Yeah. Speaking of hell, check out East Coast Bowhunting Podcast.
We keep it real on the East Coast. First of all, I'm addicted to the show.
I like that. That's cool. Full bore hunt. You live it. You breathe it.
It's a whole different world.
Just East Coast has a little bit more of an edge and a grind. It's a fantastic thing.
You guys are fucking awesome.
Well, number one is you guys like beer. I want to feel like I'm hanging with the boys.
You're the guys that showed up.
But I actually saw Jesus.
The point where it is now, where it's insane.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Just want to get the realest people possible in the industry. You just got to piss people off. You're not doing it right.
Nothing forced. All fucking natural.